Hi, everybody. In the State of the Union, I laid out 3 areas we need to focus on if we're going to build an economy that lasts. New American manufacturing, new skills and education for American workers, and new sources of American-made energy. These days, we're getting another painful reminder why developing new energy is so important to our future. Just like they did last year, gas prices are starting to climb. And while there are no short-term silver bullets when it comes to gas prices, I've directed my administration to look for every single area where we can make an impact and help consumers in the months ahead. We know there's no silver bullet that will bring down gas prices or reduce our dependence on foreign oil overnight. There are no short-term silver bullet. We know there's no silver bullet. Silver bullets with silver bullets. Silver bullets with silver bullets. Silver bullets. Silver bullets. Silver bullets.
If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such a time that the state can shield the people from the political, economic, or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Joseph Goebbels, Reich Minister of Propaganda. The political elite of both sides would like you to believe that there is no silver bullet to rising gas prices, or anything else for that matter. Their power is derived out of deception. They use mass manipulation techniques to tell you the complete opposite of reality. They use the false left-right paradigm of the Democrats and the Republicans to waste our time, money, and effort chasing after false hope. All the while, the true power marches us off to war, guts our economy, rapes our Constitution, and laughs all the way to the bank. This presidential address is a perfect example of this. There is a silver bullet to gas prices, but the answer does not benefit those who own and control this paradigm. It is vital to those who have a great deal invested in this paradigm to keep truth and real answers from even entering the minds of those that they rule. For if humanity ever learned the greatest truth never told, their way of life would end, along with all the debt and death they spread throughout the world. What the president does not tell Americans is that gas prices are not going up as much as the purchasing power of the dollar is falling. The more debt the president creates trying to sustain an unsustainable global empire, the less those dollars are worth. Inflation is simply more money chasing after fewer and fewer goods. As more dollars enter the economy, the less they become worth, and therefore you need more dollars to buy the exact same amount of goods. Americans were fed this lie in the 70s, and politicians claimed that inflation was mysterious and could not be controlled. Let's be clear, politicians are merely sock puppets for the true power that uses them to keep us distracted from the real source of inflation, the entire banking system that we have. Our money is a debt-based currency, meaning that for every single dollar that comes into existence, there's $1 worth of debt attached to it and interest to be paid back at a later date. When debt is created, money is created. When debt is paid off, money is destroyed. The scary thing about this is that it is impossible for us to pay off debt in this system. For if all the debt were to be paid off, there would literally be no money in the world, and we'd still have to pay the interest that's still due. The only way our debt-based monetary system works is that more money and debt needs to be created in excess of the debt and interest accrued the year before, or we suffer from the mother of all margin calls in a waterfall deflationary crash. The creator of this monetary paradigm summed it up with, "In the end, we're all dead." There is a mathematical end to this paradigm, and at some point we are either going to have a massive margin call, or the more likely scenario that we continue to create money and debt to the point where these dollars lose their fundamental purpose as a store of value, and the currency hyperinflates into the ether. Yes, Mr. President, there is a silver bullet, but it is not one that your masters want, for it would free humanity from the generational slavery that we have operated under for 6,000 years. The silver bullet is the abolishment of the privately owned Federal Reserve. The silver bullet is the end of the fractional reserve banking system that creates money out of thin air and gives power to those who create that money. The silver bullet is the end of usury and debt, for they are a scourge to the human experience. The silver bullet is that we could end the global occupation of the world with over 777 military bases. The silver bullet is that we can end these senseless and endless wars. The silver bullet is a complete dismantlement of the federal bureaucracy that wastes trillions of our dollars. The silver bullet is decentralization of power to the most local and responsive level. The silver bullet is to have capital punishment for capital abuse. The silver bullet is to cut the revolving door between Washington and Wall Street. The silver bullet ultimately is the complete opposite consciousness of the way that we're living today. It is a complete waste of time to try to convince those that profit off this paradigm to do the right thing. But there is a silver bullet we can use, and it's called the silver bullet and the silver shield. The Silver Bullet and the Silver Shield is a bulletproof plan that cannot be stopped. The plan calls for you to sell every single paper asset you have ahead of the mathematically inevitable collapse of the dollar and buy real tangible assets like silver. When you do this, you withdraw your active or passive support of the system that would seek to enslave you. This plan also acts as a silver shield to protect all that you love, as it will create generational wealth as we go through the single largest transfer of wealth in history when the dollar collapses. The single largest event in human history will be the collapse of the world's first fiat, debt-based global reserve currency. All paper assets will be destroyed when the currency, and hence the paradigm that they operate and find value in, ends. Only things that have real tangible value will be worth anything. Walk away from the politicians, walk away from their media, walk away from their wars, walk away from their corporations, walk away from their paper Ponzi schemes. Just walk away. When you take responsibility for yourself, you empower yourself and weaken them. Only then can we start creating a new paradigm that resonates with who we are.